Good morning, everybody. It's Beth and Jeff, No Zoom Mondays, the YouTube channel that talks about retirement, how we got here, and what we're doing to stay in it and stay happy. Beth and I are here today to talk to you about 6 of the things that we did in our lifetimes to get to early retirement. We wanted to share that with you. And the first one is around debt. How do you feel about debt, Beth?
I'm scared of debt. I have no debt. I'm very, very fearful of debt.
Yes, actually, same for me. I ended up having experience when I was a kid, problems in the finances at home, and it caused me to be debt averse for all of my life. Unfortunately, we deal with society where it's consume. And I think what you'll hear from Beth and I today is that we're not buying into that narrative.
Yes, correct. Kind of a minimal, turn the volume down philosophy, which is now a lifestyle.
Right. And so in some of the big areas that we found that we could overspend in or take loans in, just highlight a few that we don't do on purpose and haven't for a long, long time. The first and foremost is credit cards. I'm not a big believer in them in the sense of having a big balance on them. Funding your lifestyle today with loans from somebody else in the future. Credit cards come with about 20% interest rates, which is terrible, if not higher. I'm a big believer in 30-day, using their credit to actually do a 30-day revolving payment, put it on there, pay it off.
Get mileage.
Yeah, get mileage. Exactly. Get the points, but pay it off monthly. Yeah. I think that's what Beth is as well.
Yeah.
And so one credit card and not a big balance on it ever. The second thing is car loans. Another place people that I've experienced. I'm not a big believer in paying for keeping up with the Joneses. I was able to. My philosophy is around buying older cars in the beginning of my life until I had some money in the bank, and driving those until they dropped, and then moving into a newer car and only taking loans, provided a better benefit, lower price by the dealership. So car loans, not a new car in the beginning till you have some money, and then 2, if you do take a car loan, make sure you pay it off as soon as possible.
Yeah, pay cash, catch rides, ride your bike,
exactly.
Learn the bus system.
Exactly. Don't go into debt for a car. Number 3 in the area of debt, student loans. I'm a big believer in education. I think we, to better ourselves, both either a technical education or some kind of business pursuit, that a college education is fantastic and something everybody should pursue. So student loans to me on that is a good idea. Usually you can get them at a super discounted rate. And one I had to do when I was younger, I took student loans to go through college and get my computer science degree. And so I'm a big believer in student loans, again, in the area of getting you better for the future, bigger income, and bigger salary when you come out. So student loans I'm positive on.
Yeah, and I say go to a state school in the state that you're living in, or let the military pay for it.
Right on. That's fantastic. One way or another, you could do that and keep your expenses down. The fourth and last one is around mortgages for your home. And again, not a big believer in keeping up with the Joneses, overbuying, if you will, a house. My philosophy was to wait until I had enough cash in the bank to do a 50% down. I bought 2 houses. I paid 50% down on each. And then from there, I was able to look to pay those off absolutely as soon as possible. Mortgage debt, buying too big is not something I believe in and not something I ever did.
Yeah, it's even if you can get into the party, the monies and the costs it takes to stay in that party, that's pretty tough. You know, we have a tendency to fill our spaces, and it costs to maintain all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the energy it takes, you know, the heating and the air conditioning.
Operational costs.
The operational costs.
Yep.
That's tough.
It's
That's
huge.
a tough pill to swallow.
It's just huge. And again, the idea here is the ability to put your money where you get the most value. We're not big believers.
Fun.
Yeah, where you're big loans, stuff like that, where you're always paying somebody else. We believe in saving money and doing more experiences, getting out and seeing the world.
Yeah.
And we do that without debt.
Yeah, outside is free.
Yeah, exactly. Outside is free. So that was number one, was debt. Number two, big believer in saving for the future. Always have been and will continue to be. Without savings in the bank account, it's tough to have choices to do anything other than work. So number one there is I would offer up that after you get your college education or start working full-time someplace, you need to be able to save around 20% of your paycheck. And here's how I was able to do it, and I suggest and recommend others. When I got employed, the first thing I did was went into the 401k they offered up and got their match savings where they contribute as well. I did that from the beginning, period. And I suggest you do the same. The second one is I always bought into the employee stock option purchase plan so I could buy into their stock, usually at a 15% discount, if not more, depending on if the stock price rised or didn't. So that was fantastic. And then third one, as I always did, IRAs, individual retirement accounts, and I tried to max those out. I'd start small, and as my salary increased, I always put the salary increases towards those savings first so that I had a choice later in life. That's what I did.
Yeah, I have a financial advisor, and the monies I have given to her over many years are off the table. You know, I don't touch it, and in my 70s, probably I'll give myself access to it, and I just use that. I pretend it's not even there.
Right. Again, savings has always been key, and you have to start now, no matter where you're at in life, young, more stately. You need to start saving more and more now, paying off your debt, and save as much as you possibly can. I offer up that the Roth IRAs and 401ks are probably a great area as well if you look at them through your employers. Okay, that was savings key. Was number two. Number three, expenses. Oh Lordy, my philosophy has always been something around this following percentages. So 50% towards shelter, housing, transportation, clothing, and food. 30% towards discretionary things you want to do, entertainment, vacations, etc. on a yearly basis, and then the 20% that's left over was towards the savings that I mentioned earlier, and then investing, which we'll talk about in a second. I never, or certainly tried never to spend more than my paycheck, because that was a recipe for a disaster, and one would never give me a chance to get moving forward in early retirement.
Right, make $2, spend $1.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a adage we've lived by for years, and one that has continued to pay off. One of the areas that over as I met Beth 6 years ago and had an opportunity to learn more about myself and what we like and didn't like, read a book on minimalism. It got thrown into me in an avenue where I took interest in it. It's a book, Do More with Less, and the gentleman's name is Joshua Becker. Do More with Less. I had an opportunity to read that, and the concept is, why do we want to have all this material stuff when in reality experiences are what gives us the enjoyment in life? And so with that, I remember talking to Beth about it and saying, hey, I'm going to clean my closet out. And I went into my closet. This is what this gentleman recommends as the first step. And I had clothes in that closet that had absolutely dust on them that I had never worn in years. And two, I had tags on some of my clothes that I had never worn. I bought but never worn. And it was just an eye-opener as minimalism took hold for me 3 or 4 years ago to get rid of the extra stuff. And that was just the start.
Right. It's the nickel and diming, I think, that add up. Invest in a box fan and then wear a sweatshirt in the winter. You know, make your own food. And we live in Austin, Texas. It's such an affluent community. You can get really, really nice clothing at the thrift stores.
Yes. Yeah, funny that you say that, because we go to Goodwill. It's our GW, we call it, our Gucci. Yeah. and go and buy clothes there. Why not? I mean, it's just not that big of a deal.
Every piece is different.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And you know, the history is really in each piece of clothing is very unique. And it saves tons of money. And again, the idea is to be able to put...
Some history is more than others.
Right, and put that money towards something that will benefit you later and give you choices in life to be able to get out of the rat race. So that's expenses, 50, 30, 20, as I mentioned, and the idea of minimalism. Get rid of the junk. You know, do you really need 3 cars? Do you need a 3-car garage? Do you need that boat that might be sitting in the driveway and never being used? All of that stuff adds mental weight and energy that's consuming that you don't necessarily, we believe, we have a great life and we don't have any excess in most cases.
Yeah.
All right, so that was number 3, expenses, trying to get to a minimalism state. Number 4, and a big one, is investing, and investing in the market and in our health. And I will tell you, I'll start with the health part first. As I came into the world where I got a chance to meet Beth, my refrigerator was full of Taco Johns. if that. I mean, but that's what the kind of stuff I was eating completely, continually, and processed fast food because it was quicker, faster, and the rest. And so, you know, I met Beth, and
yeah, I cook, we eat well. You know, we eat what we're supposed to be eating, vegetables.
Right.
And it's not only is it cost effective, just out of your nickels and dimes. We don't go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You know, it is taking care of yourself through food.
Yeah, eating the right stuff. She's a beautiful cook, a fantastic cook. You've seen some in the videos, and so our health has went up. My health certainly has went up. She's eaten this way and lived this way forever, so that's fantastic. You know, back into the savings that we've talked about getting. We actually, I'm a big believer in investment in the markets. I've invested since I was younger. I tried like heck over time to pick stocks, individual stocks, and win the market, beat the market. And I'll tell you, you know, some examples of stock that I picked that were going to take me to the moon and back were things like Nortel and Lucent and Earthlink. Those were some big picks I had in the early 2000s, all of which, hopefully you're laughing now, all of them went bankrupt. They're gone. They're done. So my theory now is, after reading a book, again, books have been cornerstones in my life. I read a book, 4 Pillars of Investing, by William Bernstein. And in this book, it's very, very heavy in the sense of theory and stuff around the market and psychology of investors. But the net of it is that a significant portion of the world today cannot beat the market. It's not worth trying to beat the market. The risk is too high. Just go out, put your money into some standard ETFs, exchange traded funds that mimic the market. 2 I'll recommend are Vanguard's VTI, which is the total market stock-wise, and then BND or bond for the total market of bonds. And you could easily put together what they call a couch potato portfolio, put 60-70% into the VTI of your savings and the rest into this BND bond fund of Vanguard, and voila, you're now making what the market's doing over time, and you don't have to worry about the risk of picking the wrong stock. And if there's some winners in there, like a Google or some of these up-and-comers, you'll be able to pick them up through the big markets that way. There's other ways to invest. Those are 2 I would recommend quickly, easily, an easy, simple portfolio. I'll go through in an upcoming video, I'll go through more of what I've done. I'm a little bit more detailed to that and have assets in other asset classes, but those are simple ones to do. And I would suggest a 70-30 split, 70% stock, 30% bonds. And the returns I've been able to see over the course of the last 20 years are in excess of 8 to 9%. Real returns, that includes, dividends as well as the actual price appreciation, well north of what I'm spending that we're all trying to get to, which is 25x our expenses, which is the 4% rule. So if you're gaining 8% every year and you're only spending 4%, you've got an engine that will never die, and that's key. And I would offer up those investments. So invest in our health, right? Stay healthy so you can enjoy when you get out and into retirement. And 2, invest in the market so the market is returning to you.
Exercise.
Yeah, and going out and exercise on a daily basis. We do all that as well. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5 is to put together a budget and track it. Early in my life, I needed to be able to see where I was putting that money, whether it really matched the 50, 30, 20% rules that I was talking about earlier. I went forward and bought Quicken, Intuit. Intuit's the company. They do TurboTax, and they also do Quicken, which is a budget analyzer of where your money's going, how your investments are doing, and the rest. And I tracked it, and the reality is I wished I would have done a few things, and I didn't this month or this year, but I was able to see it, and it showed accountability to me to close the loop and get my finances in shape so we could, like we've done, we've retired early. And I don't know if there's other things you've done, Beth, on the track it side.
Well, I just use a pen on my calendar. I know that the half a dozen things, my costs every month, and of course taxes go up every year.
Right.
And then I sent my daughter through school, and she's a personal financial advisor now. So that was a good move too.
We're going to get help from her. Absolutely. She's going to be doing an analysis, hopefully, on our portfolios to see if we're headed in the right track, and double check our math to make sure we can retire forever, stay happy and retire forever. And so budget and track it. And the last thing we offer up is the following as a must-do item to be able to retire early that we did and that we offer up to you. Commit to the things we talked about. Get debt-free, find a way, consolidate loans, get rid of your debt, cut up your credit cards, commit to doing it. And then actually do it, and double check yourself through this budgeting that we talked about, whether it's Quicken or you download Mint, this app, but do it because it's very, very much worth it. As we see now, as we're in retirement, these steps that we've taken and talked about have highlighted are ways for us to have gotten here, and we committed to it.
Yeah. That's my dad is almost 100 years old and still lives independently. And he's taking care of himself financially and with his health. And he says, do it today, do it yesterday.
Right.
And work hard, play harder.
Yes, absolutely, 1,000%.
Jump, jump.
Make it happen. And again, you might not be in the proper situation today with a bunch of debt, maybe not saving enough, etc., but that can change. And that's the commitment part and doing it. And look, this can all be fun and enjoyable, seeing yourself move forward and head out. I mean, take a look at some of the things we've been able to accomplish so far in retirement. Again, not only how we got here, but what we're doing to stay in it and have fun. Yeah. Grand Canyon, peaking things, all of this is possible. Still eating right, exercising, staying in it, keeping a budget, all that stuff makes it possible for us to head down this road. So look, hopefully there's some information here that's useful for you. Offer up, we're going to continue to talk about our retirement, more things about how we got here in depth. Add comments if you want to hear more about what else we did in some of these sections. Offer up that if you like what you see and want to hear more and watch us as we go through retirement, talking about the good, bad, and the ugly of it, Subscribe, hit notifications there so you know when we produce a new video. You can come and watch this stuff on our channel. Anything else?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Yeah, see you on the trail.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Bye for now.